Every team is only as good as its leader. We see it in sports all the time. Legendary coaches like Nick Saban and Bill Belichick create champions, not only because they know the X's and O's, but because they know how to motivate you, how to make you believe you're bigger than yourself, that you can beat any challenge no matter the odds. Like what Herb Brooks did before the 1980 Olympic hockey game between the underdog United States and the heavily favored Soviets.
This is your time. Their time is done. It's over. I'm sick and tired of hearing about what a great hockey team the Soviets have. Screw them. This is your time.
That might have been the Disney version, but we all know what happened after that speech. The United States shocked the world because they were led to believe that they could. Leadership comes from deep inside, and it's not exclusive to a political party. Even Democrats have followed proud, respectable leaders who put America first. Men like John F. Kennedy, who exemplified everything right with our country, who represented us as a statesman on the world stage and knew how to deliver a message.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.
A message of selflessness and patriotism? Are we sure JFK was a Democrat? Because look how far the Democratic Party's fallen since then. Today, Nancy Pelosi sent shockwaves through D.C. when she announced she was calling it quits on House leadership.
We must move boldly into the future, grounded by the principles that have propelled us this far and open to fresh possibilities for the future. And with great confidence in our caucus, I will not seek re-election to Democratic leadership in the next Congress. For me, the hour's come for a new generation to lead the Democratic caucus that I so deeply respect.
Pelosi's vice-like grip on Democratic Party power looks to be coming to an end. But it's been a hell of a ride for Nance. Her policies may have been trash, but at least she could execute the duties of the Speaker of the House. And now that she's gone, what's next? Could it be Michelle Obama? We crashed her book tour to ask people what they thought about her, and we'll have more of that later on in the show. But we know it won't be Jim Clyburn or Chuck Schumer. No one's going to follow them. Their time's come and gone. And Joe Biden's got nothing left in the tank. We don't even know if he's going to run again in 24. Members of his own party are already doubting his fitness. So in their quest for a new king, it looks like the Democrats are turning to their old playbook, the same one that got Joe Biden elected in the first place, the basement plan. Democrats know they need to keep their candidates out of sight and out of mind, because the more people see and hear them, the less they like. Naturally, that means John Federman just moved to the top of the Democrats' list for 2024. He spent half his campaign hiding out, steering clear of the press, so the left is wasting no time anointing him as the next president.
Federman as a nominee at some point for president. I know there's some variables, obviously. What he did in the super red, deep red parts of Pennsylvania and the way that he ran ahead of Biden, as you were saying, ran ahead of Trump, I mean, it just makes you wonder about his future.
Federman as a nominee at some point for president? I know there's some variables, obviously. I mean, what he did in the super deep red. I mean, can you believe these people? Can you believe these people? I don't know what they're actually talking about. And it wasn't just MSNBC jumping the gun. The New York Times ran a piece calling for the rest of the Democrats to follow Federman's lead, even down to the basketball shorts. They think Federman's sloppy appearance is actually an advantage, with a political op saying, you can't discount the look. His signature outfit is a Carhartt hoodie and cargo shorts. And it's not just the fact that his wardrobe looks like he's going out to 7-Eleven without a shower. According to the Times, Federman's biggest strength is that he's a victim. Saying this, he demonstrated vulnerability, stereotypically. His kind of male is not supposed to be weak or fall down. He admitted he was not in control and lifted up vulnerability as a strength. We all know the left loves a good victim. Democrats are all about controlling you, and who's easier to control than a victim? That's why they use kids or minorities, they say, and the impaired even as props. You can't attack them or you come off as a bully.
And Oz certainly at moments seemed to almost come off as a bully. We should stress, though, that Federman's doctors say that he will make a full recovery. Oz himself came across as kind of a bully, had his own misstep with a line about abortion. So debates usually don't matter that much. This one might.
It was really strange to me that he chose to bully a stroke victim. Yeah. Right? Like, he obviously was bullying
him. Is it
him.
any different than what they did with climate change? Remember they made a teenage girl the face of the movement? So anytime you criticize her, you look like a jerk? But this isn't sympathy. In fact, what they're doing to Federman's downright cruel. I feel bad for the guy. I mean, senator is one of the most stressful jobs you can have, and stress leads to strokes. They're setting him up for a disaster. Reporters have no boundaries in D.C. They're relentless.
Mr. President, what did you tell Myers? I have no comments, just saying great to be home, great to be back with all my colleagues, and I think we're going to get a lot done.
Will Federman be able to handle lots of questions? Biden couldn't, and it doesn't look like Federman can either. He hasn't even been sworn in yet, but his advisors are already saying you can't ask him questions. If he can't handle reporters, how do you even know he understands the issues?
Here's what I think we have to fight about inflation here right now. That's what we need to fight about, inflation.
There is that 2018 interview that you said, quote, I don't support fracking at all. So how do you square the two?
Oh, I do support fracking, and I support fracking, and I stand, and I do support fracking.
Does anybody even believe Federman knows what fracking is? He doesn't know what it is. And aren't senators supposed to actually write legislation? I mean, it's mostly written by lobbyists, but I mean, come on, at least you got to pretend to get involved. It looks like Federman's the prop, and his bisexual Brazilian spy wife is in charge. I mean, she's already cropping him out of pictures. How long until she pushes him out of office? Democrats have abandoned the goal of persuading voters. They don't even want to debate ideas anymore. They're just pushing victims they can manipulate and hide, and let the media campaign for them, and let the lobbyists do the rest. They got away with it in 2020, hiding Biden in the basement and running his campaign for him. We saw it in Arizona this year. Remember Katie Hobbs won the governorship supposedly without ever stepping on a debate stage? And now they're setting the stage for Federman to do it all over again in 24 or 28. When you have the mainstream media, big tech, and Wall Street on your side, you don't really have to run a traditional campaign. You just destroy your opponent and hide in the basement. That's the new game plan. The party of JFK is no more. It's Federman's party now.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.